Here it is, the 90s. Single people are finding all sorts of bizarre ways to meet each other. What do you think is the best place to meet single people? The produce section in the supermarket, that's talked about a lot. I think a favorite spot is a hardware store. You have people in there buying things to fix up their houses. Or maybe it is in a magazine. And the creator of this magazine is with us today. She is our guest. She calls herself a Cupid who could spot a great match a mile away. Please welcome Charlotte Russell, the creator of the Single Solution for Members Only magazine. We also have 4 people on our panel who are dating people in the magazine. We have Libby, Ron, Jack, and Ann, and you're going to hear their stories coming up in just a few minutes. And later on, we have a man who flew in on the red eye last night from California to meet number 2107 in the magazine, and they're going to meet for the first time right here on our show. So stay with us. We're going to play Cupid today, just a couple of days away from Valentine's Day. Charlotte, people in the 90s, it's more acceptable now to meet this way. A decade ago, you wouldn't dare tell anybody you met through the personal ads or through a magazine or whatever.
Well, I agree. When I first came to this town over 3 years ago, there were precisely 3 personals, and we all had a concept, oh, they must be weird, they must be this. Well, if you go and see the Tribune or the local newspapers, Creative Loafing, there are over 1,500 personal ads run every week. Okay, so I used to work for a prestigious dating service, and I saw there was a distinct problem with meeting people in the 90s. People would use the service, they'd go there, but it would take so much time and energy, and not to mention the money it took for them to get a response from a date. Mm-hmm. So what I decided, I would make the club go to the people instead of the people go to the club. So we actually print up all our new members every month.
Libby is now engaged to a man that she met through an event, a singles event that Charlotte set up, right?
Yes, I am.
Why did you decide to go this route to meet somebody?
I am very involved in local activities such as JCs or church or tennis leagues and so forth, and just through my business, 80% of my clients are men, so I kept thinking, oh, well, I'll meet the right man through either my personal social life or through my business.
You're surrounded by eligible men.
Right.
What's the problem?
I know. Well, I just wasn't meeting the right type of person, and obviously the bar scene has never been a solution of any sort. And
you all agree the bar scene, passé, nobody does that.
Yeah. So
our whole audience agrees. Was this a confirmation? Yes. Who cares about the bar scene? Anybody meet people in bars? Everybody's shaking their head no. Okay, that's not the way to go. Okay, so you didn't want to do it that way.
Well, it's not to say that I didn't meet people through the bar scene, but there's that stigma attached somehow that that's just not a proper way to meet someone. And so I just wouldn't allow myself to necessarily meet anyone that I would be interested in. So
you're engaged now. Do you tell people how you met?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I sure do.
You're not a little embarrassed about that?
Not at all, because as in anything, the more people that you meet, the better, the more likely you are to meet the right person. Mm-hmm. So to allow yourself to join a club to be able to meet more people is treating yourself in a good way, rather than, oh gosh, I must be desperate and I've got to do this to find a man. It's not that way at all. It's more just allowing yourself to meet more people.
Ron, you think that some people might say, come on, you know, why aren't you meeting people other ways? Is this an act of desperation?
No, I think that's a misconception that's out there, is that there's some kind of act of desperation. I think busy professionals these days are spending an awful lot of time just making a living and taking care of themselves and things like that. I think it's pretty frustrating sometimes to not know something about someone. You spend 1 or 2 dates to find out the type of information you'd find out if you'd had some interaction beforehand, you see.
So it's sort of a personal screening process.
Really, it is.
Get a few things out of the way first. Make sure they're not weird or...
Well, exactly. And I think also the idea is that people have made a commitment that they do want to meet somebody. It's frustrating if you're single and you're out there and you're dating somebody once or twice, and then you find out they're really hung up on somebody from an ex or something like that, and they're emotionally scarred.
Did some of you try other things first? Did any of you try the personal ads or video dating or anything like that?
No, I haven't.
No, nobody's tried that. This is, Jack, is this your first experience with trying to meet people in this way, then?
Yes, yes, it is.
And why did you decide to do it? This is a good-looking guy. Wouldn't you wonder what's he doing in this magazine? The ladies in the newsroom picked you out, by the way, Jack.
Well, the truth is, I didn't get in to really find a date. Okay?
You didn't?
The Single Solution has activities that they run, every month, numerous activities. And I work in a small office. There's just a partner and a secretary, and I work lots of hours. I have flexible hours, but a lot. And I like to be able to go out and in groups with people and have a great time. I've dated some of them, and I can really enjoy myself when I'm out in these groups and get to know people.
Has it worked out, some of the women that you've dated through the magazine?
Well, that all depends on what you mean by worked out. I mean, yeah.
Let's define that.
I mean, were they successful? You enjoyed them, you went back and dated them again,
Absolutely.
or you didn't find any weirdos in the bunch?
No. I'm having a great time. I'm meeting a lot of people, and I'm making a lot of great friends at a faster rate than I have ever done so in my life. Really nice people.
This must be an advantage. I want to talk to Ann about this, because over either a personal lab where you don't have a picture of the person, or a blind date where you have nothing to go on as far as what the person looks like, you got to tell your story, Ann. Okay. This is great. This is Ann's date from hell. You had broken your leg. It was a blind date. And you said, I'm going to...
See this guy that's got to be at least 350 pounds. He's got on Howard Johnson's aqua polyester pants and a green and white striped shirt with a big pin that says, I heart Herbalife vitamins. Well, when we walked into the restaurant, I mean, even the bartender was like... To top it all off, he kept saying, order what you want. I figured, well, maybe if I get a little buzz on here, it won't be so bad. But then he only had $22 for a $78 tab, so I wound up paying for the date anyway. So I figure it gave a whole new meaning to the phrase living large.
And Charlotte's aim is to make sure that we don't all have these experiences in life that you're a little more conditioned for. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Charlotte Russell, who's created the magazine, The Single Solution for Members Only, you say that you can put people together because you meet them all and you go, these two people, yes. You can do that? You play Cupid?
Well, sometimes I have an intuition about people, and in my past, when I've actually been in working for another company, I could isolate who would be good for each other, and I would have to coach them, say, you might not find this chap, 100% attractive, but trust me and get to know him a little bit.
So Jack would come in and you would say, what sort of woman are you looking for? You have a little bit of an idea. Then somebody else comes in and you go, this is it.
Exactly. Everybody's personally interviewed by me, so I can get to know what their needs are and what qualities they're most looking for in another human being, and they do tend to open up quite well. So I can then work as a good referral. I don't want to say I'd play Cupid. I'd rather say, I think you might do very well with this person.
Well, that's okay. I'll say it for you. It's all right. How do you screen these people? How do you know they're not married?
Well, when they come to the organization, I do ask for 3 forms of identification, and usually if you meet a gentleman or a girl in a bar, you don't ask for that kind of identification, so there is a safer thing for women or for men here.
How do you know they're not weird or criminals or...
I ask that about the same when you're sitting in a bar. Can you detect if someone's that way in a bar also?
So you basically can't guarantee that this is going to be a safe experience, but you try to hedge it a little bit.
Well, I look at it this way, that most of the people who are joining the club right now are guest referrals, because the members have received the publication. It is for members only, so they're referring their friends and having a positive experience from that.
Albert in Clearwater, go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to let those people know that's on your panel today. I met my wife through a magazine ad, and we have been very, very happy and get along great for the last 11 years.
Whoa, that's great.
I highly recommend it.
Okay. We're talking about dates from hell today. This is Virginia, and she had a guy who was going to take her to a concert in Orlando, Pink Floyd concert, and you bought the tickets, I think. Yeah, and he drives up in a Porsche, and so she thinks, all right, this is going to be really hot. But this guy was so cheap. How cheap was he? How cheap was he, Virginia? What did he do?
He was real cheap. He drove up in the Porsche, and the first place we went was to a gas station, and he pulls up for gas, and he looks at me, and he says, can I have some money for gas? And I'm thinking, I don't think so, you know? So then we had made plans prior that...
He can't afford to buy gas for his Porsche?
I don't know why. We were in the same, it was a business associate, and I knew the store he worked for, and he made very good money, so I knew that wasn't the problem. Okay. So anyway...
Then on to dinner.
On to dinner, yes. So I knew we were going to have dinner, so we're driving up Fowler Avenue, and he says, which do you like better, Burger King or McDonald's? Yeah, it's like...
And so you drive through and you order it.
Yeah, we drive through, and he looks over and he says, how much was the first order? And he pays for his order, and he looks over at me, and he says, and yours will be $4, you know?
Can you believe this? Okay, there's more.
There's more. We haven't even left Tampa yet. You know, if it had been a normal date and I was going to the movies, I would have probably taken a taxi home, but we already had the tickets in Orlando, and, you know, I wanted to see Pink Floyd. So we got over to Orlando, and all the way over, all he talks about is, you know, all his past dates and how bad they were and negative.
No joke.
No joke. Yeah, I understand why. So we get over there, and it's raining, and it's an outdoor concert, and he pops out of the car, and he's got this umbrella, and he's standing out there, and I'm thinking he's going to come around and, you know, come to me to get me out of the car, and he doesn't. He stands on the side of the back in the car with the umbrella over him, and so I get out of the car, and I go...
So she goes to the concert in the rain, and he covers himself with the umbrella. We have time for one more part. Tell me about the jacket you wanted to wear because you were cold.
Oh, yeah. The concert's all over, and we get back, and he throws the umbrella into the back of the car, and there's a jacket there, and I said, do you mind if I put this on? And he says, no, you know, that's my best jacket, and it has to be dry cleaned.
And you're hoping that maybe Charlotte can bring a little more security in your love life now, right?
Yeah, that's right.
We'll be right back, and we're going to meet the man who flew in from California to meet number 2107. Stay with us. Cupid here on Eye on Tampa.
Thank you.
Well, we're playing Cupid here on Eye on Tampa Bay today in honor of Valentine's Day, and I'd like for you to meet Bob. He has flown in on the red eye from California to meet number 2107 in the magazine. Her real name is Nancy. No last names here, of course. We're trying to be discreet about it. How did you see her picture, and why did you do this?
Well, it's an interesting story. The building manager over at the Bayshore Royal where I live, he got the copy of the magazine from Charlotte, and I was walking out one day, and he just handed it to me, and he said, listen, he says, I know you're single. He says, and I don't usually promote stuff like this. He said, but it sounds real interesting. Why don't you take a look? So I grabbed the magazine, threw it in my car, and off I went. And stuck in traffic, so I looked down, and I said, all right. Picked it up, and I start flipping through the pages, and I saw 2107. And I says, okay,
Yes.
okay. Called her, and that was on a Friday, I believe, and then Saturday went over and met her and joined the club. And
Met
Nancy
who
and
and joined the club?
Met Charlotte.
Charlotte. Oh, okay, not
Right.
Nancy. You
No,
haven't met
no,
2107
no,
yet.
not
You just met
yet,
Charlotte.
no.
Joined the club.
And then talked to Nancy a few times over the phone.
So you've spoken on the phone to Nancy, but have
spoken
not
on
met
the
in
phone.
person.
Have not met in person,
And
no.
your work now takes you to California, and you're pretty much based out there, but you wanted to come in and meet her today.
Exactly.
What sort of a connection do you have on the phone with her? Is there chemistry here?
It seems that way. It seems it flows real well.
What strikes you most about what you two have in common?
Geez, I don't know. It's very mature, very centered. Yeah.
You've had long conversations?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
This is kind of serious to you then?
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay, well, are you ready to meet Nancy, number 2107? Okay, I think we're ready to meet you, Nancy. If you can come on out and meet Bob, let's have the meeting. And here she is.
Oh, Jesus.
Hello.
They're hugging.
How are you? Good, and you? Nervous as all get out. This is for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, sit down. I know you want to stand up and hug. Well, you've seen each other's pictures, right?
Yeah.
Nancy, is he what you expected?
Yes, he is.
And Bob?
Absolutely.
Is anybody just a little nervous here?
A lot.
A lot? What did you think that he wanted to fly in all the way from California to meet you?
I was pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you describe your phone conversations and your sense of what you two share?
We've talked about absolutely everything, I think.
Really?
We've talked about a lot of different subjects. We spent 2 and 3 hours talking.
2 and 3 hour phone conversations.
And I didn't reverse the charges either.
Right. And the first time he does, I won't be home.
So are you going to go out on a date tonight?
Yes.
Have you asked her to go out on a date? You have plans?
We have plans now.
Yeah.
I like this, kind of a spontaneous sort of thing. They meet and she goes, yes, we're going out, and he goes, sure.
Actually, we talked about that, and she's having some remodeling done in her home. And she said, geez, you can come over and watch them put the tile down. Go.
Come over and watch them lay tile?
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
That's what we're going to do.
Okay, we'll take a break, and we're going to try to talk them into a little bit more romantic date during the break, and we'll be right back with Nancy and Bob. We have Bob and Nancy, who have just met through this magazine, The Single Solution. Have you bonded during the commercial break? Are you feeling closer?
Oh, we're going out on a real romantic date tonight.
Oh, we worked it out. Better than the tile laying experience. I like that. I think we're on to something. Go ahead.
Well, I have a philosophy that Charlotte knows about, and they're threefold. Number one, I felt that be careful of what you'll settle for. You may get it. Number two, you can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. Number three, never, never, never cast your pearls before swine. Now, that may sound cynical, but Charlotte said this is just the right place for you. I think she was right. It kind of took care of the last two anyway.
You have a phone call for her? Okay, stand up. There's a phone call. Go ahead.
Hello, yes.
Go ahead.
Hello, yes. I saw the angel sitting there in the front row, and since this was a date from heaven, I'd like to ask her if she'd like to go out on a date from heaven.
You're watching your TV set? We have the right one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, what's your name?
Peter.
Peter. Well, do you want to...
Peter? Sure, why not?
Find out how much you weigh.
Peter, I tell you what. You leave your phone number with the woman answering the phone, and what's your name?
Jackie.
And Jackie will give you a call, and we'll see what happens. This is pretty great.
You can always become a member of the club also.
Yeah, I know you had a comment.
Okay. I just wanted to comment that not everybody joins just to meet men. I mean, if I happen to meet a man, but with the level of clientele that Charlotte deals with, I make a lot of business associates. I'm a consultant, so I do a lot of business through there. I make a lot of friends, women and men. So, and the events are fun. So not everybody's looking for a date, but if I happen to get one, then I guess that's fine too.
Or you can come be on Eye in Tampa Bay in the audience, and you get dates that way. It's kind of encouraging.
I'm just curious how much it would cost to get into the magazine.
It's a very good question. It's very, very affordable, and you get a lot of benefits by being in the magazine. We'll take a professional photograph of you, distribute the magazine, and give you the benefits of the activities and travel benefits, and all this for just $50 a month. Do you think that would work for you?
Sure.
Good.
Well, I've got a date from heaven. I met a lady about 30 days prior to this date, and I invited her over, and we got to spend all day together. And later on in the day, I decided I would make dinner, and I got on the grill and made a couple of steaks. And
I hope you didn't get on the grill. Steaks were on the grill.
yeah, steaks were on the grill. Had a nice salad, bottle of Chardonnay, candlelight. And then we went dancing. We had a drink. And then I finally got to slow dance with her, and that was very nice.
Whoa, the date from heaven. We're very glad to hear these happy stories. That's right. We're going to tell you about the single solution for members only. There it is. There's a number to call, 282-9299. Do any of you on the panel have a final comment about why this works for you and why you think this is going to be the thing of the 90s? Do you think it is? Is this the new way to meet people?
I think it's functional for people who travel and move around their business, and like the one gentleman said, who spend a lot of time on their profession. So.
And Ron, it's worked out pretty well for you?
It has. I think you have a chance to meet people who are really kind of, as you mentioned, pre-qualified.
Right.
They've made a commitment that they really are looking for someone special.
Yeah. Well, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. And Bob and Nancy, good luck tonight. All right.